I realized I forgot one particular thing in regards to setting up alerts and everything like that. Um, if you want to have a conversation with me, um, I have a Discord channel that I run um, right here where I would love to talk to each and every one of you. If you have any questions, um, love to help you get started if you're learning this. And hopefully you can see there are plenty of people out there who are profitable and successful at it. But what you generally don't see is the journey it took to get there. And so we have this false expectation of being able to jump into trading and immediately become successful and just make it just get rich quick. And that's not how it works. There is an entire journey that takes place. And most of it for everybody that you see online is done behind the scenes. Um, and so there's been challenges out there from some of the Forex mentors and gurus that are out there to be like, hey, document your journey. Tory Trade is one of them. Nick has been an encouragement to be like, start a Discord with yourself and just document everything. That way you have something that if somebody ever asks, what did it take to get there, you can show that. Rocks is the same way. And so there's all these guys out there who they're already profitable though. And so you don't get to see the day in and day out struggle that happens. You don't get to learn about the psychology that they have to go. They give you psychology tips, but you don't get the day in of how they actually went through it on their turmoil. And so, or the inner turmoil that happened on the day that it actually happened. They're looking in hindsight going, oh yeah, here's some psychology tips for you that you could learn that I've learned all throughout this time. And I've been able to put into practice for all these every years. And I'm successful now. You don't get to see what the struggle is of having a full-time job while trying to become a trader is because they're already doing it full-time now. Whether it is they've been doing trading as well as now they have, maybe they get some income from YouTube, from their courses, and things of that nature. I don't have any of that. And so to see what it takes all throughout that process is something that is I know it's been beneficial to me to be able to share it because it's hard sometimes to express it to friends and family who aren't trading. And so when I have people online that are like, hey, what do you think about this? How is everything going with you? The conversation is really nice, especially with somebody who is new and then somebody who is just learning as well, or in the process of becoming profitable. Then it's not like I'm talking to, one of my mentors and I'm like, hey, here's what I'm struggling with. And they don't mean to sound the way that they do. It just comes off as like, really, why haven't you gotten that yet? Or like, here's what you need to do. And it's like, yeah, how do they put that into practice? And he's like, you just do it. And it's like, yeah, that's something that you do and you put into practice really easy. How do I actually do it? Because I don't know what the actual steps are. And what were some of the steps that you do? And it's like, I don't know they don't remember where those steps are either because it's been so long in the past. So coming along with this journey along somebody, I would definitely say get an accountability partner. Get somebody that who is learning the process as well, that you can ping back and forth. And for some reason, this is where coming up with a small group of like 4 or 5 individuals, not an entire Discord of thousands, just a small group. That way, if 1 or 2 are like, you know what, this isn't for me, they dip off. You still have the other ones. The probability of you losing all 5 of them, pretty low. I have one accountability partner that I've been in touch with for some time now, and he's flip flop back and forth on trading, and he comes back and then he leaves, and he comes back and he leaves, and I've been encouraged by him, the fact that he continues to come back. But I would love to have somebody else who is of like mind, who's looking to dig in, who's working like a 9 to 5, who has a family, things of that nature. To actually be able to converse with. That's not what this was about though. This was about the alerts. So setting up the alerts, when you set up an alert, you can set up an alert in your zone, add an alert. Now, once again, I don't know if we can probably look that up. Trading View free alerts. How many alerts on the free trading view? You only get 1. So you only get 1 alert on the free trading view. And So you'll probably need another avenue in order to make the alerts work for the 4 pairs that we were talking about before. Where did they go? Oh, that's my alerts. For the 4 pairs that we were talking about before. There's one little tweak or one little gotcha that you can do in order to make TradingView Alert work for at least one of your pairs. I would get an app, one of the alert apps that are free out there. I don't think Call Levels, I think, was one that was really well. That worked really well. And then and I think there was another one. I don't think I have it because I have the FX Alerts. FX Alerts is another one, is an app on Android. I don't know if it's on iOS. I have an Android. So one thing you can do though, if you're like, okay, I'm only going to trade one pair, and you don't need 4 pairs, you could do perfectly well with just 1 pair. There are plenty of people out there who only trade 1 pair. Justin from FTMO Trader, 1 Minute Trader, he generally just does GBP JPY, and that's solely it. He's on the lower time frames. He generally does like the 15-minute, 1 minute, and then he has small sessions that he does that in. And this process that we talked about in the last video works just the same on the lower time frame. So you can do it just the same. It's just majority of the people who are coming to this out the gate are full-time employees someplace else. They work a 9 to 5, and they have a hard time carving out time to do it. If you can carve out time to do it, if you can carve out, 2 hours, 3 hours of being able to sit in front of a computer and monitor, the charts. I say 3 hours, but really you can probably do it in 2 hours, especially on the 15, 1 minute. Then you can do that. And you can, the same exact thing here, go on the 15-minute, mark up those same exact levels, see where price is at, find too high or too lower, and then just start journaling the trades. How often, and then come back through and we'll optimize, we'll look at it and see, okay, what are the consistencies that we see that we can be profitable on, that we can find profit with, that we can find an edge with. It doesn't matter. In fact, nobody in their right mind, if I hid what the time frame was, would be able to tell you what time frame it is, because no matter where you go, whether it's on the 1 minute, whether it's on the 3 minute, the 5 minute, the 15 minutes, no matter what it is, they are just candles. You start getting down to the 10 seconds and well, then the story gets choppy and you can probably be like, oh yeah, that's definitely lower than a minute, but you know what I mean? Don't worry about that. Come down to the 1 minute and it's like, nope, yeah, that's a chart. That's a chart that you could look at and go, yep, I have supports, I have resistance. You can do it all, same thing, all over again. Doesn't really matter. So if you have, got off on another tangent. Doesn't matter if you are doing it on the 4-hour. I just recommend the 4-hour because most people are trying to do it while they are also working a 9 to 5. And so this requires the least amount of chart time, because every 4 hours you're waiting for a candle or a candle closes, and it takes a while for one candle to get to a particular zone. And with 4 pairs, it might take some time. This is where that worry of greed comes in, though. The idea that if you go down to a lower time and just trade, that I'll make more money is not always the case. A lot of people will hone in on the quote, less is more. And I believe there's some truth to that. So for the people who drop down to the 5 minute or the 15-minute, 1 minute, their version of less is more is only trading 1 pair. And so there's gives and takes of both. And so that's what we're going to go with that. Alerts, though, if you had a zone above and a zone below, and you're like, okay, cool, I only have 1 alert though for GJ, and it's the only pair I'm trading, and everything like that. There is this parallel channel, and there might be a better one, but I think the parallel channel works great. Yeah, we'll do the parallel channel. There's this parallel channel that you can draw, and it starts with one or in the other. You have to play with the right click on it and play with the settings. So like I don't have it extend all the way to the left. I have it extend to the right. You can get rid of the background and all that other stuff. Change the colors and all the other things. So once you put it on here, though, if you line it up like you would an alert up top and alert down below, now when you right click on it and say add alert to parallel channel, if you come here and say exiting the channel and then create that alert, now no matter which way price goes, if price comes down here and taps this level, it'll alert you. If price for some reason turns around and comes up here and taps this level, it'll alert you. And then you can come back and go, okay, cool, that's what I want. And so you can use that as a workaround for getting 2 alerts out of one drawing tool. And so the parallel channels where that at. Once you're actually in a trade, you can do the exact same thing. If you're like, hey, I'm not going to actually watch my trade, I'm going to do a set I'm going to set my trade and I'm going to forget about it. If it hits take profit, it hits take profit. If it doesn't and it hits stop loss, and it hits stop loss, and then that's all it's going to do. You can do the same thing here too as well. Now you do exiting channel as well. And so once it exits the channel, you come back and look, did it actually exit to the north or exit to the take profit or exit to the stop loss? And then you'll just journal that. So just wanted to give that little thing about the alerts. It was very useful for me when I didn't have a lot of alerts, but I paid for the whatever trading views plans and use those. So that's that. Okay, take it easy. Be blessed. Bye, guys.